Football, Super Eagles' new coach set to implement new philosophy. Details of this and many more will be yours shortly after now.
From lives across the ocean to the land beyond.
The board, management and staff of Morrison Media Group invite to her Atlantic Television Network Town Hall meeting on the 2025 budget with an expenditure framework of 49.7 trillion naira, projected revenue of 34.82 trillion naira, and a budget deficit of 13.08 trillion naira, representing 3.89% of GDP and debt servicing with 15.81 trillion naira. The distinguished chairmanship of Right Honorable O.K. Chinda Esquire, DSSRS, Minority Leader, House of Representatives, National Assembly. Keynote Speaker, Dr. Chinyere Igwe Esquire, FSM, FIMC, FNIMN, MNIM, ARPA, MIPPA, legal practitioner, author, broadcaster, policy expert, and chairman, Morrison Group. Presenters on the thematic focus areas of the 2025 budget: debts and economic growth focus, Professor Silva Okwala Charles, President, Garden City Premier Business School; security, funding for military, paramilitary and police forces to secure the nation and protect borders, Stanley Sofo, security experts; agriculture, enhance support for farmers with funding and input to boost productivity and ensure food security, Dr. Nnemeka Obiari, development economist and investment banker; human capital development, education and healthcare investment, Dr. Emmanuel Iroyema, management consultant; job creation, public and private partnerships for infrastructure development, Mr. Pat Obiene. Date is Saturday, 25th January 2025. Venue, Dimeji Bankole Hall, Gate Place Hotel, Kilometer 5 East West Road, adjacent Obiri Quarry Flyover, Rumosi, Port Harcourt, by 12 noon prompt. Please note that the meeting is a worldwide live streaming program of Atlantic Television Network. Call Michael Favor on 0813 245 6678, Laurentia Ogu on 0818 344 6746 for attendance booking, partnership and sponsorship. Media partners: Wish 99.5 FM PH and Excel International Magazine.
All right, welcome back from that break. If you're just joining us, this is Sports Talk on Atlantic Television Network. Emmanuel Michael is in the studio this morning, and of course, so glad to see you, Mike.
Yeah, good morning, Temple. Good morning to our viewers out there.
All right, let's start with happenings around the United region, where the Bayelsa State government has pledged commitment to building more sports facilities in the state as preparations for the 25,000 capacity FIFA-approved stadium kicks off. The Honorable Commissioner for Sports Development, Senator Honorable Daniel Igali, made this statement while speaking with newsmen. According to what he said establishing new facilities is a vital tool to foster unity, improve public health, and create opportunity for talent discovery and economic growth in the state. Mike, looks like Bayelsa State are in for some sporting projects around the vicinity or the territory.
Yes, of course, and one man who has been at the center of all the sport development in the last 3 years down the line, Daniel Igali, is spearheading this very one. And that is why I would take it very serious, the statement he made to the media out there, because he's one man who truly understands what it means to actually put a lot in terms of sporting facilities. name per se in the squash, fraternity here in the country that you can also rely on. She did pretty well in her last, championship, and also has continued to grow up the ladder. I'm very hopeful that if all necessary support is given to her, she can even break barriers, even go beyond her previous achievement to also continue to maintain that high standard. And I think for me, her coach as well need to also be given some kudos because, she did a lot. You had her there also eulogizing, the inputs of the coach, which for me I think is very key. At the tickets point where she even wanted to bow out of the game, to leave or quit the game, it was the coach that was also behind her to encourage her, give her all the needed support and all of that. Today, she's making marks.
She's making marks, and let's move on now to some golf news where former Super Eagles forward Osaze Dewingwe is dreaming of seeing Nigeria's flag game of golf at the Olympics as he continues to rise in his new professional path with the hopes of returning to the global stage soon. Osaze became a professional golfer in 2019 and graduated from the Professional Golfers Association School in June 2024. The 43-year-old started playing the game towards the end of his time at West Brom in the English Premier League, and with golf having been readmitted to the Olympics in 2016, we want to see a Nigerian aiming for the pin as the biggest sport.
The love of the game, talking about golf down here to Nigeria, is going to help us a lot in also, taking, the game continentally right here in the country. Just like you stated earlier, we have a lot of golfers here in the country, but we've not actually made it more like taking that bold step to make it more like a professional, like, launching our name, to the African continent, then to the world. And I think if Osaze can also add a lot, to the system and also collaborate with the Golfers Association right here in the country, is going to help a lot. Then again, building a structure for the golf activity is going to be another way that can also draw some sort of interest from golfers out there. We are not short of golfers here in the country. We've seen or heard about golf competition here and there, in Abuja, in Lagos, in different parts of the country. That is to say that we are not lacking the qualities. It's just that we've not taken that bold step to take it higher. But if he comes with this level of enthusiasm that he has found in the world of golf, I think it's going to help our country.
Let's see how Osaze will achieve this. I'm sure the charity begins at home, so probably, like he said, meet with stakeholders, meet with authorities, and see what they can do to galvanize the activities of golf in Nigeria down to the highest level. Moving on now to tennis, the children of Nigerian table tennis star Quadri Aruna followed in the step of their father by claiming sport on the podium of the João Monteiro table tennis tournament, which was held at the weekend in Portugal, while their father was battling it out at the WTT contender in Doha, where he made it to the semi-finals. His children, Miriam Aruna Jr. and Mira, coached by their mother, Ganiyat Aruna, all made a strong impression at the João Monteiro table tennis tournament by securing podium finishes in their respective categories. This is impressive, and this is catching them young.
Yeah, definitely catching them young, system, and good thing they are also following the footsteps of their father and their parents out there, because their parents are, they have this thing running in their blood, and for me, I think it's a nice one. This is a nice way to bring up, your kids in your own area of discipline. While growing up and they discover they find love in what you do, there's need of, not supporting. I think the best way is to also try to show them the way at the early stage, and they will gain mastery of what you do, and they become ahead of their peers because you are giving them that special attention. You are paying every details, to their games out there, to correct them, to put them through what they need to do and all of that. So for me, I think it's a nice one.
It is a nice one, and let's see how they can use their activities, to even move on. At this level is the best time to get to see them, excel in their different field. Well, let's still talk about tennis. We saw devastating fire, at Osaka's home. Four-time Grand Slam champion Naomi Osaka was one of the several players at the Australian Open to send love to Los Angeles as she revealed the devastating wildfire was just 3 blocks from her home. Osaka, who is 27 years old, beat Francis Caroline Garcia 6-3, 3-6, 6-3 on Rod Laver Arena to reach the second round at Melbourne Park, where she will face Caroline Muchova, yesterday. And this is quite impressive. And even if she's disturbed, because I mean, when you hear those kind of devastating issues around your locality, even if you are not at home, it kind of worrisome. But somehow she has sent love, and that also engineered the fact that she was able to win against her compatriot Caroline Garcia, moving on to the next round.
Yeah, impressive display from Naomi Osaka, but then again also paying solidarity to his people back home there because of the wildfire spread and all of that. I think it's a quite disappointing time, a very devastating one for what is happening because of the outbreak of that fire. Not a good one at all. Most of the tennis players in this ongoing Australian Open have actually sent their love as well. Some, you see them writing in the camera lens, love, sending out a lot of support, to the affected people over there. I think it's very, very disheartening. But I think the positive angle was that she was able to find strength from all of that and also, progress to get the better of her opponent out there, which for me, I think she needs to be commended. Despite the trauma, despite the emotional heartbreak and all of that, she was still able to stay strong to, come out top in that very one. Big, big congratulations to her. And we also send our love and support as well, to them over there.
And in some of the games played yesterday, American 10th seed Danielle Collins defeated Ukraine's Darius Nigo 7-6, 6-3, while Canadian Belinda Bencic knocked out Latvian 16th seed Jelena Ostapenko in straight sets in her first Grand Slam match since having a baby, winning 6-3, 7-6 in that particular one. Let's move away from that and let's talk about other issues in the ATP, still in the Australian Open, where Negricol says that he can't see himself playing singles again at the Australian Open after being knocked out in the first round by great Britain's Jacob Fenley. Fenley, who's 23 years old, cruised to 7-6, 6-3, 6-7-6 victory in the first overseas Grand Slam match of his fledgling career. This is fantastic for this young lad. Nobody would have believed that when that draw was done. I remember last week, all of us talked about this particular one because of the fact that he's playing a known name in Gricos, and but Gricos himself did not live up to his expectation. I mean, but it seems he talks more than he can actually do this day, even if he has some injury concern. But against Jacob Fenley, the British, it looks like that one was he was really overpowered in that game yesterday.
Yeah, for Kyrgios, I think he wasn't just ready for this year's Australian Open. He talks more than he works on the court out there. Immediately he bounced back from that long time absence because of injury. He came up with a controversial statement that the world of tennis has looked so mundane without him. I laughed at it. He's one player that truly loves to draw attention from the media. You can call him the bad boys of tennis because it was with the one even before the start of this year's Australian Open that even raised the dust about the doping saga of Yannick Sinner and all of that. He talked a whole lot about the integrity unit and all of that. So for me, I think it pays more attention to the media, hype, media stunts than it should do on the court out there. And there no doubt or no surprises for me why he lost that very one, because I actually knew it. He wasn't actually prepared for this year's Australian Open.
I look at him, Mike, and I just think that he's just having his fun time. He's like a man who is tired of the game already, but just it's difficult for him to just leave the game. But he just want to stay there and wait. But the truth of the matter is that how do you cope financially? How do you cope economically if you don't win titles. Yeah, injuries. So I expect that, okay, at least get to the later stages of the competition, you know, so that you can match your words with action. If losing in the first round, no player goes into the court to lose, okay? But I would have expected more from him, especially knowing fully well that Jacob Fenley can be a banana peel, you know, but then maybe he does feel that, as usual, he could get one over him. But, I mean, it was so well transparent. He played with Novak Djokovic in preparation in the Brisbane Open. I mean, and they were knocked out. And so it looks like, in fact, the fact that he's been talking about going to play in as a doubles partner, I'm asking myself, how far can he even go? It's even better he plays a single, even if that is more draining. But I feel that he's known for singles and he's not even double, because double will be more problematic for him.
Not even more problematic for him. If he goes to the double, I think it will be more easier for him. It's just that his opponent is going to suffer, because he will not be doing the needful. And for me, I think it's just time for him to call it quit, throw in the towel, because it doesn't look any better than this. Having been away from the game for quite a while, coming back, you are expected at least to give you know, a very strong representation to your fans out there. Some of them that missed you so much while you were away, but instead of doing that, you rather prefer, you know, carrying out media stunts and all of that. I just think for me it's time for him to at least bow out of the, you know, game, because leaving the single where he's even renowned to the doubles, I think his opponent is going to you know, suffer it, because his opponent is going to do the bulk of the work out there, and he can't guarantee them you know, a very good spot. If you combine with anybody for the doubles, I think it's going to be more like punishment, like I said, to his opponent. So I'm just thinking it's time for him to just take a bow from the game.
Time for him to take a bow from the game. Meanwhile, Novak Djokovic survived a scare in his quest for tennis history before following Carlos Alcaraz and defending champion Yannick Sinner into the second round of the Australian Open yesterday. A lot of persons who take things for granted will be heavily shocked, if not for what transpired yesterday. I mean, Novak Djokovic should have been ousted out, but somehow the big name are through to the next round, except for Nigricos.
Yeah, the big name are through to the second round, which for me is a great one. I haven't seen any major upset. Curious, would I call that a major upset?
Well, if you follow tennis, you won't be surprised because of his injury concern and how far his form has, you know, has gone down the drain in a while. But it's still a big name, regardless. Like I said, I mean, you cannot compare his effort with that of Jacob Fenley, you know. But in terms of form, I knew that could be a banana peel for Nigricos.
Yeah, banana peel for Nigricos, but the big question is the big name. Have we actually seen any big name upset? We don't now term Nigricos as one of the big name upsets. I do not think so, because for me, he has not done enough. I think the highest he has come to the world of tennis, rated world number 13. Hasn't won any major trophy, so for me, I wouldn't term him as a big upset. But good, I think some of the big names were able to progress through to the second round, which for me I think is very, very important, because it assures tennis fans that we are going to see even healthier competition going forward, because we have most of the big names still very much around, and they will certainly be paired against each other at some point or at some stage of the competition, which is going to be a mouth-watering you know, fixtures for tennis followers across the world.
Mouth-watering fixtures, but then let's talk about something very interesting from the boxing world. We hear that Tyson Fury has announced his retirement from the sport of boxing, which brings an iconic career to an end following a consecutive loss to undisputed heavyweight champion Usyk. Speculation had been prevalent about Fury's next move, with fans eagerly anticipating either a trilogy bout against Usyk or a long-awaited showdown with fellow Briton Anthony Joshua. But instead, the Gypsy King has chosen to bow out of the ring, leaving an indelible mark on the world of boxing. His first encounter with Usyk in May ended in a heartbreaking, and the Ukrainian powerhouse handed him his first professional loss via split decision, claiming the undisputed heavyweight status. But for now, it looks like this man has finally said arrivederci to the sports that he loves, and A lot of person would see this as a very big surprise. While some would just think that it is necessary at this point so that more challenge, more offset don't come his way. But I would have still want him to be in the sports.
For me, I can't take this statement very serious because we know Tyson Fury is always maybe call it controversial in times. Sometimes when because of the statement that he makes in the media. Don't forget, this is not even the first time that he has retired from the game and still bounced back. His last retirement came in 2022 after his fight against Dillian White. But suddenly he made a shock return once more. And this time around, should I take him serious? I can't actually take this statement to the bank because just 2 days ago, before his big announcement via his social media handle, Eddie Hearn has stated that there's something on the cards, between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, and a lot of boxing followers, especially for the British fan, there were this excitement in the air because to them, finally, the long-awaited, rivalry or meeting between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury is going to come alive. But all of a sudden, after 2 days that Eddie Hearn came to make that statement, 2 days after then, he comes up to say he's retiring from this. So for me, I can't take this very serious until maybe after some times, he did not make a reversal of his decision to come and make another controversial statement that he's back. Then I can actually agree. But for now, I can't actually, pitch my tent on this world. I won't take it with any pinch of salt because Tyson Fury is always a very controversial man.
Very controversial, but let's see how far that goes. And in his career, he's fought 37 times, won 34, and then lost one, drew one, and that's very impressive. What a boxer we have in Tyson, Tyson Fury. But how good will he stay with this decision? Like Mike said, it leaves much to be said. Let's just wait and see how far that goes. Moving on to athletics now, Sifan Hassan will return to the London Marathon this year as all 4 reigning Olympic and Paralympic marathon champion takes to the streets of the UK capital in April. Dutch athlete Hassan made history as the first woman to win Olympic gold over 5,000 meters, 10,000 meters, and the marathon during her career with victory over 26.2 miles at Paris 2024. 32-year-old produced a remarkable comeback to take victory in London on her debut over the marathon distance in 2023 and also won the Chicago Marathon that day. She will be joined in London by Ethiopia's Olympic men's champion Tamira Tola and Paralympic champion Catherine De Bruyne and Marcel Hug. This year's London Marathon takes place come 27th of April, and of course many more to come. With that, now we're going to short break. When we come back, we'll talk football matters, starting with the Nigerian Women Premiership.
From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN. From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN. From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains.
Alright, welcome back from that break. If you're just joining us, this is the Sports Talk on Atlantic Television Network. Let's talk about football matters now. We'll start with the Nigerian Women Premier League. We are the league will kick off across the country this Wednesday. That's tomorrow. The biggest match of the opening week takes place in Benin City. We are defending champion Edo Queens will face Abia Angels at the Sam Ogunmudia Stadium. Also in Group A, Ekiti Queens will host the Heartland Queens at the Oloyemi Kayode Stadium in Ado Ekiti, while Confluence Queen take on Remo Stars Lady at the Ayimba City Stadium. Nasarawa Amazons will clash with Danas Ladies at Lafayette City Stadium, with all matches scheduled for 4 p.m. kickoff. In Group B, Rivers Angels will square off against newly promoted Ibom Angels at the Adokie Amesi Maka Stadium in Port Harcourt, while Adamawa Queens face Nigeria Rattles at the Pantami Stadium in Gombe. Meanwhile, Rivers Angels' new coach, Tosin Blackson, has revealed his ambitions for the season. Mike, all is set for the resumption of the Nigerian Women Football League tomorrow.
Yes, and I think they've rested enough. The Yuletide period has come and has gone, and time for them to get back to work. And I think most of the team are very prepared and ready to go. A few days ago, we just had some of the teams, also beefing up their squad. Don't forget, even our own Rivers Angel as well, beefed up their squad with 1 or 2 players, at about 12 players, if I'm not mistaken, that they got signed. And if you have not been watching Rivers Angels, game, it is time for you to go and watch their game, because I tell you, some of the new players that have signed, they look very good. I mean, pretty beautiful. Girls are there. So time for us to go back to the stadium and cheer on to victory. And it's going to be an exciting week in the Nigerian women football, because I tell you, a lot of the teams have done great job during the transfer window, getting 1 or 2 players to add more strength, to add more versatility to their team out there. And that is why I'm saying it promises to be an exciting one. Tomorrow we are all set. Definitely I must go out and watch Rivers Angels game, so that I see some of the new faces in their camp. Of
course, go out to watch Rivers United game and Rivers Angels. Let's see how angelic they will be as they take on Ibom Angels, another Angels from the South region. Away from that, now to the Nigerian Premier Football League, Ekami Warriors has commenced full training for the week at their home ground, Ekami Warriors Stadium in Maiduguri, in preparation for the second stanza of the Nigerian Premier Football League. All players reported to training with the exception of 2 who were excused due to personal reasons. The squad is largely intact and the coaching staff has been focusing on physical conditioning and tactical drills to sharpen their competitive edge. Mike, a lot of teams preparing for the forthcoming second stanza of the Nigerian Premier Football League.
Yeah, and I think Academy Warriors, they are not left out of the preparation as well. Don't forget, they are also very much contender for this season because I think they are in the 5th position on the log with 29 points after 19 games. That is, they are about 7 points shy of the league leader, talking about Remo Star. So I think they should be preparing because they are still much within the title contender, so far this season. So I believe they've actually, discovered some areas they need to beef up so that, they actually get 1 or 2 players during the this very transfer window in the Nigerian Premier Football League. But I tell you, all is said. If there's anything to go by what the coach said yesterday, they are ready to go and ready to fight for the title.
Ready to go and ready to fight for the title. Meanwhile, Nasarawa United have been charged for breaching the MPFL framework and rules in the course of their Match Day 18 fixture with Rivers United. The Lafayette club breached the MPFL rule following encroachment into the field of play in the course of the match. Nasarawa United also failed to ensure proper conduct of their team and their supporters, which led to the assault on the away team. This is necessary, even if it is 2 sides to the coin. But first of all, the MPFL disciplinary committee have found them guilty of breaching the rules, and their punishment is a 3 million naira, fine, being 1 million each for encroachment into the pitch and failure to ensure proper conduct. So I think it's well deserved.
Well deserved, but I think for me, more education need to be carried out to some home teams out there by their clubs, because this is not the first time we are hearing this kind of issue this season. Despite the frantic effort, by the league body to ensure that we stamp out hooliganism and all of this, we still see pockets of teams out there causing 1 or 2 trouble, breaching the extant law that governs the league and all of that. So for me, I think it's becoming very serious, and we need to pay much attention other than just lifting the hammer by imposing sanction of 1 million, 3 million, and all of that. We should go, a step further to actually see how we can be able to address the root cause. Because if you cannot address the root cause of all of this, I tell you, it cannot to happen every now and then. So we should go beyond just imposing the 1 million naira fine to actually call the stakeholders, call club management, sit them down, educate them. This is what you need to do. I think you need to be very close to your fans. I think this is what you need to tell your fans. Maybe call them, organize them, carry out more like a lecture to them, so that at least it will sink down in their brain that even if there are no security personnel, fans can just seamlessly come to the stadium without any peace, without any violence, and sit quietly, watch their game, go home. Whether you lose, win, or draw, you should show that spirit of sportsmanship. So I believe this is where symposium and some form of seminar need to come in on the side of the fans to educate them the more.
3.3 goals has been deducted from the accrued point of the team. They are not battling relegation. Did themselves to with this now. That stadium, the Lafayette Stadium, have also been banned, for now from the fans. So they will play their games behind closed doors. So I think that if there is any time that the authorities, at the club, will have to do something, is now. Talk to the fans. But sometimes we've even seen that even the authorities, collide with the fans to perpetrate some of these ills, which is not very lovely.
And it's for me very unprofessional, not just being lovely, but very, very unprofessional. When you collide, we collude with the fans, to carry out some of these, non-acceptable, behavior within the league, then, you are giving the fans that perception that whenever you are playing at home and, the scoreline is not going in your favor, cause mayhem, cause violence, foment trouble, so that the match will be suspended, or probably so that you pile pressure on the center ref so that they award a dubious penalty for you so that you get to win the game. I think for me it's quite unprofessional, and I think more drastic action need to be taken against the stakeholders, talking about the club management, because they are the one that set the pace for what their fans are doing. If their fans comes out with some of this erratic behavior and the club management take a swift action towards addressing it, I think next time when such fan comes to the stadium, he or she will know that whether we lose, win or draw, I should maintain my cool. So I think more action should be taken against the league, against the club management, so that at least it will serve as a deterrent to others.
They have even said that the club should go and look for the fans that perpetrated that crime, harm against the away team.
And it will be very difficult.
And they follow it up. And I asked myself, how do they do this? Because they should follow it up, and they want to see the progress of punishment meted on those fans. I do not know how Nassau United intend to achieve this, but they know their fans. That's the assumption there.
Yeah, they know their fans, and I think the only way this will be possible if there are technological, input that can also help to fish out some of these fans. Over there in Europe, we saw. We get to see these things, but it's very easy for them to detect that very fan because they are technologically advanced. The camera can just
point the area where that was caused.
And they get to know the fans.
Because there are ticket sales, so no fan comes to the stadium without a ticket sale.
True.
And so computerized system, every fan comes to the stadium with knowing whether you pass through some data activities, and it's easy like you said. But here, even if you know the fans, you know where he stays, they got to go pick him out and bring him for punishment. It's a different altogether. But like I said,
and then the fans can still deny. If you take him to court, he can still win because there's no substantial evidence to
show that he was the one.
Okay.
But there was a video clip.
Yeah.
Or the video clip.
Yeah.
That day. So maybe through the video clip, that could just be the only help.
Maybe, but then I think a lot needs to be done.
Eric Chile was on video yesterday, Mike. Before we go, let's talk about that briefly. And Gumno Dede and Fidelis Ilechiko has been retained as they are, in their various places, especially with the Chan team. So let's see how far this new marriage will work out.
Yeah, I think I'm very happy that Daniel Gumo Dede and Fidelis Ilechiko were retained as the Chan Eagles, head coach. I think for me, I was actually worried when I heard that Eric Chile is coming to take up their roles. At this point, I was like, wow, this is a wrong priority. But good thing they have been retained because having taken the boys to qualify for the Chan after 6 good years, I think it would be very also important to also allow them, to take these boys to the competition proper. And I think it's a good one. And for the man, Eric, thank God it's not, Eric Ten Hag, but Eric Chile. I believe he's going to bring a lot of good things to the team. He talked about what he wants to achieve, cohesion, stability, attacking kind of football where he's able to bring Nigeria Super Eagles to that point where they become, the giant indeed of African football. And for me, I think let's just keep our fingers crossed, hoping that all of these his lofty ideas is going to, work out for good. Because if it does, it's going to be for our own gain. Presently, the situation in our World Cup qualifying group that we find ourselves. If we get to qualify us for the World Cup, I think that would be a big plus for him. If we get to improve the level of our footballing, especially getting our boys that are doing pretty well in Europe whenever they come to the national team, to put up 110%, just the way they do for their clubs, that I think is going to also help to improve the Super Eagles and help us, to at least achieve the 4th African Cup of Nations. 2013, that was when we won it last with the big boss himself, the late Stephen Keshi. I think 2013 down till now, many years has gone by. The farthest we've gotten is last year's final. This time, I think we need to go a step further by winning it. So for me, I think I'm very hopeful. All support needs to be given to Chile to excel. Enough of the criticism, enough of the blame games here and there. I think it's time for us to give him, the needed support so that he can also, excel.
And that will be the much we can take this morning on Sports Talk. When we come back later this evening, we'll take a look at Chile's appointment. It seems there's a change in the contract discussion, and of course, we'll take a look at that too. We'll also look at the support coming from different corners. Not also forgetting Pep Guardiola is talking tough. What is he saying? All these and many more we shall cover when we come back later for Sports Extraordinary. 6 p.m. is the time. Don't not fail to join us because it promises to be an explosive moment. Many thanks to you, Mike, for being part of the conversation this morning.
Always a pleasure doing this with you.
We'll be back again tomorrow, same time, to take you through the world of sports. Until then, this is Atlantic Television Network. Go to our social media platform as seen on your screen there and follow us, and then you can also drop your comment. Let's get to know what you think about some of the conversations topic we've had here on the show. Ekpok Temple is my name. Do well to stay with us, but don't forget to join us later this evening, 6 p.m. is the time. Until then, have a blessed day. Bye-bye.